It's happening. The Legend of Zelda is getting a movie. Yay! Yay! The Legend of Zelda is getting a movie. Finally, this has been teased for like years now, but we just didn't have official confirmation. And as of today, November 7th, 2023, we have official confirmation that Zelda is getting a movie. But not the movie I'd hoped for. Live action Zelda. Live action Link. Okay, before I get into my feelings on this, let's read about it. So, Nintendo and Sony teaming up to make live-action Legend of Zelda movie. Nintendo is finally making a live-action Legend of Zelda movie after years of hopes and months of rumors. The news was shared today in an official post to Nintendo investors with few details. The film is being produced by Nintendo's Shigeru Miyamoto. Good that we have some Nintendo oversight. And Avi Arad, chairman of Arad Productions and former founder and CEO of Marvel Studios. Okay. Arad has been credited as producer on numerous successful films over the years, most recently including Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse No Way Home, Far From Home, and Homecoming. He's also worked on upcoming films including Kraven the Hunter and the Borderlands movie. The Maze Runner director Wes Ball is set to direct, and Sony Pictures Entertainment will handle the theatrical distribution in addition to co-financing the movie with Nintendo. Deadline Hollywood, meanwhile, reports that Jurassic World writer Derek Connolly is writing the script. Though the press release indicates that development is just beginning, in a tweet /X post today, Miyamoto indicated that the project has been in the works for many years now. Okay. Here's the official tweet from Nintendo. This is Miyamoto. I've been working on the live-action film of The Legend of Zelda for many years now with Avi Arad-san, who has produced many mega-hit films. I've asked him to produce this film with me, and we have now officially started the development of the film with Nintendo itself heavily involved in the production. It will take time until its completion, but I hope you look forward to seeing it. Okay, so that's literally all the news. Okay. So, when I first saw the headline of Legend of Zelda movie confirmed, I was really excited. Like, I immediately just started thinking of like new stories they could tell, what kind of story they could possibly tell, how the characters would be animated, and like, will Link talk? Because if he doesn't, it could be really cool, and like, it could still work because all the other characters have always carried the stories of this series. But then I saw the words live action. And I truly, I glazed over the fact that it said live action. And then I was messaging a friend and she said, that says live action. Who's gonna play Link? Who's gonna play, I don't know, Ganon? Who's gonna play Zelda? Well, the second you make something not live action or just humanly realistic, the second you make something like a cartoon live action, it gets dicey. An example of someone who did it right would be the One Piece live action. I think we all can agree that the One Piece live action is far from trash. The trash that we honestly really expected. Anime movies, video game movies, none of them have like a really, really successful track record until recently. We've got the Super Mario Bros. Movie that did well. Even the Sonic movie did fairly well. They were not the flops that we've seen like in the past 10 to 20 years before. I feel like video game and anime movies are like finally starting to get there. And I feel like The Legend of Zelda kind of falls under both. Like, you know, there's a manga, there's a video game, and I feel like the art style is kind of anime-like, right? So I do feel like, of course, casting is going to be heavily scrutinized no matter what. The biggest thing to me is going to be capturing that wonder of the world of Zelda, of Hyrule, and like the pointy ears of the Hylians, all the different races. I was certain that if there are Gorons and Gerudo and Zora, like all of, you know, especially the really weird races, even the Rito, they're birds. Like, how will any of that, if it's even there, how would any of that translate to live action? We can all think of 1,000 things live action that could go wrong. Link is mute. He does not speak. And there are, suspected reasons for why Link doesn't speak, that he made a pact and he just doesn't speak. Are they going to make him talk? I mean, can we have a movie where the main character doesn't speak? I like to think in a positive light. So if I'm thinking positive, think of things like Disney Pixar shorts. I think even if you have like a distaste for Disney, Pixar shorts are always really, really good. How they began was there was no talking. There are definitely some that have talking now, but they have either very little or no talking at all. And they can tell this beautiful story in like 5 to 10 minutes that like rips your heart out or just makes you feel good things or sad things in a matter of 10 minutes with almost no dialogue or very minimal dialogue. Is it possible to tell a really good story with a character that can't speak? Absolutely. Am I worried about it being live action? Yes. I feel like with animation, you can do all these really subtle things that can make it more apparent what the person is feeling. Like they have to act very like overly dramatic facial expressions really in order to convey the emotion. And most of the time when we see Link's face, he really doesn't emote very well. Even in some really like spoilery moments in Tears of the Kingdom when we are so sad, we're practically crying as the player, but Link is just kind of, oh. And I'm like, are you gonna cry? Are you gonna do anything? You have emotions? I am just really concerned that live action was not the way to go. Personally, if it were me, I would have loved to see a Tears of the Kingdom like kind of Ghibli style, or especially because a lot of like Breath of the Wild was heavily inspired by Princess Mononoke. If you didn't know, go watch the comparison video. It's like incredible. I thought it would be really cool looking animated like in CGI or a Ghibli style. Like there's a way, I feel like, to make that work, especially if you've got someone that was involved with the creation of the Spider-Verse movies. Like those are a feat in visual media. Like I can't even explain it. And I'm not going to be the first person to say like this is going to be horrible, because again, I am an optimist. I want this to work. I want to love it. I want my children to grow up and be able to watch this movie and I can say that I was around when it came out. Like I want this to be successful. I've been playing Zelda since it was one of my first video games. Ocarina of Time was one of my first video games. And just being able to see it come full circle and done justice and to see it done correctly, it would make me so happy. I'm not someone who is negative and wants to see it fail. I can't think of a single person I would cast. I don't know who I'd cast for Zelda, who I'd cast for Link. And I mean, now we've got like voice actors that consistently play Zelda and some of the other characters, and I can't imagine them being anyone else, you know, if that makes sense. There's so many questions. How are you going to make this beautiful? How are you going to make it not cheesy? But my hope lies in that Mario did well, Sonic did okay. The One Piece live action was probably one of the best anime live actions that could have been really bad. They did fairly well. I think like with a combination of there lately being a better trend in these kind of movies or shows succeeding and exceeding the expectations of everyone on planet Earth, I have high expectations that this could actually go really, really well. I think it's going to be years before we hear anything, but I would love to hear your thoughts below. I'm going to remain optimistic that this could be a good thing, but I felt like I had to do my civic duty and report this news to you. I would like to know, what do you think about a live action Zelda movie? Do you agree with me that it probably should have been animated? Let me know in the comments below what you think. Who would you cast? What kind of story would you like to see? Would you like to see a continuation past like Tears of the Kingdom? Would you like to see a remake of sorts of games, stories and games that have already happened? You want to see something brand new? Do you think in the whole Zelda timeline that they're just going to be like, hey, let's plug a new one in right here? I really don't know. That's going to be my guess, is that it's a brand new story that's going to fit somewhere in the Zelda timeline, whether it's a major prequel or like something more modern. Let me know what you think down below. I would love to have a conversation about it in the comments because I can't be left alone with my thoughts right now. See you guys later.